All right, so thoughts of a therapist, and I'll also add this as a save that for supervision. Okay. All right, so you're dealing with a client who have maybe they're dealing with different problems that could have real consequences for them. How do you approach that with a client in a way where you are giving them the reality of the situation of what are the things that could happen versus instilling fear? Because our role as therapists is not to be a fear monger. We're in our role, we are not trying to instill fear as opposed to really giving them reality of their consequences. I always think about like the scope of how I work, right? I'm a therapist. We talk about thoughts, feelings, and all those type of things. I'm not a probation officer. I'm not a police officer. I'm not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. I am not a DCF worker. So thinking about like the scope of your role and how you build your therapeutic alliance with your client. So if you want to go in with, you're going to get picked up by the police officer or your probation officer or something like that. That's not a therapeutic role as a therapist. So I think being very clear about your therapeutic alliance and what your role is and what your role is not. We will do, like I said, like that reality part of like, hey, there is, real consequences for these particular actions if you do them. But I would never make a definitive argument that that is what will really happen unless I have spoken to their probation officer, to their DCF worker, to their doctor, whatever, and even still, and then I operate outside of that. So, knowing that my role is a therapeutic alliance with them to help them make better decisions, to help them come up with better solutions for themselves. So, I just kind of caution being a fear monger and wanting to instill fear in your client because that does not build up a great relationship if your client feels that you are trying to instill fear in them. And that actually does harm.